the chosen ones.
In the first scene of the movie, we see a forest clearing with 6 crates arranged in a circle, each labeled with a combination of numbers and letters. A guy named Alex wakes up in one of them. He doesn't understand how he ended up here and doesn't remember anything. The guy is terribly frightened and looks around in horror, realizing that no one will come to help. Alex desperately tries to get out, but the box's windows are covered with iron bars, and he can't break the walls. Through the window, Alex sees the other boxes and tries to find out if there are people in them, but no one answers him. Alex tries again and again to escape from the confined space, but without success.
Shit.
Tired of endless attempts to break the walls, Alex stops to figure out what else he can do to save himself. The frightened guy spreads the contents of his pockets on the floor and, finding his phone, tries to call 911, but there's no signal in the forest. Alex extends his hand with the phone beyond the box and stretches as high as he can, but nothing works. After a while, Alex notices the nails in the box's walls, and an idea comes to him. He takes the keys found in his jeans pocket and starts scraping the wood around the nail, trying to pull it out. However, this activity turns out to be difficult, and Alex spends too much energy trying to extract just one nail. And what would you do if you found yourself locked in a box? How would you try to escape the trap? Share your ideas in the comments. Night falls, and Alex is still struggling with the stubborn nails. Soon, he hears rumbling in his stomach and realizes that he hasn't eaten all day. Suddenly, strange noises start coming from outside, but exhausted after a whole day of ineffective work, the hungry guy falls asleep on the floor of the mysterious box. In the morning, Alex wakes up in a terrible mood, and his whole body aches from sleeping on the hard floor. Suddenly, he notices that a tray with food and a glass of water somehow appeared in the box. Alex eagerly digs into the rice, finally satisfying his hunger. Soon, he's interrupted from his breakfast by the sound of an aircraft flying really close. However, no help arrives, and Alex, in anger, smashes the plate against the wall. Then he relieves himself into the water cup, pours the contents outside the box, and returns to scraping the nails. But despite all his efforts, the walls still won't give in. Soon, Alex looks out the window again and suddenly notices a diary on the ground. He decides to get it no matter what. He takes shoelaces from his shoes, ties them to the sleeves of his jeans jacket, throws the makeshift tool out the window, and tries to pull the diary towards him. After numerous failed attempts, Alex manages to retrieve the mysterious diary. In it, he finds information about several young people, complete with attached photos, including information about himself. Alex nervously throws the diary and realizes that being locked in the box wasn't a coincidence. In the middle of the night, Alex suddenly wakes up and finds a chainsaw inside the box. Astonished by the unexpected find, Alex turns it on and cuts a hole in the wall. He finally escapes the box, and after looking around, dashes into the depths of the night forest. Soon, Alex emerges onto a road, stops a passing car, gets in, and leaves the horrifying place behind. But suddenly, it turns out that the miraculous rescue was just an unfortunate guy's dream. Realizing this, Alex takes his phone and decides to record a message to people in case he can't manage to escape. Exhausted, Alex admits that he doesn't know how or why he ended up here and only remembers waking up locked in the box. He tells that he has been imprisoned for 2 days already and realized that his captors need him alive since they're feeding him. Alex also talks about all his attempts to get out of the box, and then expresses his love for his family, whose existence he's uncertain about due to memory loss. Soon, the phone's battery dies, and Alex falls asleep again. Meanwhile, in a neighboring box, lights turn on and mysterious people in black cloaks emerge from it. In the morning, Alex eats his standard breakfast, and a girl named Julia wakes up in the neighboring box. She's also extremely frightened and doesn't understand where she is. Julia asks if there's anyone in the other boxes, and Alex responds immediately. The frightened girl hopes that Alex will explain to her why they ended up here, but he disappoints her and confesses that he knows nothing and remembers nothing except spending 3 days in captivity. Julia claims that she also remembers nothing but believes that they'll find a way out for sure. However, Alex tells her that he has tried all options already and that escaping the boxes is impossible.
We're gonna die in here, aren't we?
Alex reassures the desperate girl and explains that someone brings them food and water every night, so they will stay alive. He also warns Julia that there's no signal in the forest, but she still tries to catch one. Then Alex opens the diary found the day before and discovers information about Julia. He mentions her last name and age, and Julia asks in confusion how he knows that since she doesn't remember anything except her name. Alex tells her about the diary, which apparently belongs to their captors. He also speculates that they were chosen for captivity for some reason, but neither Alex nor Julia knows exactly why. And what do you think? Based on what principle were these guys chosen? What could unite them? Pause the video and share your assumptions in the comments. Additionally, unknown captors had added information about 4 more people to the diary, but their boxes are still empty. Now Alex and Julia start speculating about what might connect all of them. Maybe they're just acquaintances, or perhaps they are part of something bigger and unknown, or maybe they were chosen randomly, and the captors want to play a game with them, observing their behavior. Without finding out the reason for their abduction, Alex and Julia pass the time playing tic-tac-toe, shouting their moves to each other and scratching them on their walls. After a while, Julia becomes curious about what Alex looks like. She finds it unfair that Alex saw her photo, while she can't even imagine his appearance. So Alex shares that he has dark chestnut hair and green eyes and that he probably looks bad after so many days in confinement. Suddenly, strange noises come from outside. Julia immediately jumps up, peers out the window, and soon notices silhouettes of people in black cloaks deep in the night forest. A frightened Julia informs Alex about the strangers who are approaching the boxes. The young people try to shout to them and demand an explanation and their release, but the people in black cloaks ignore them.
This can't be real!
Julia falls into despair again, thinking that they won't get out of these boxes alive, but Alex assures her that they will surely come up with something. The next morning, cries for help wake Julia and Alex, coming from the other boxes. The group of abducted people undertake the same senseless actions, trying to break the walls, pry open the grates, and catch a signal. To make the newcomers quiet down and get their attention, Alex throws his cup into one of the boxes. After making sure everyone has calmed down and is ready to listen, Alex reveals that the 6 of them ended up here for unknown reasons. He, unlike the rest, has been in a box for a whole week. He recounts how he and Julia saw mysterious people in black yesterday, but still couldn't figure out who they were. Then Alex suggests that everyone should introduce themselves by name. Learning that the newcomers are called James, Alice, Brianna, and Jake, he opens the diary and confirms that everything matches. Jake is confident that if they all join forces, they can overcome the captors. Alice suggests that someone should escape when they bring food and go to the police. However, Alex considers the idea a failure and warns that they shouldn't count on success. Then Alex tells everyone about the diary, which includes photos and information about each of the abducted, and shares his assumptions about the non-randomness of what's happening. No one can even guess why they were all brought here and what awaits them. Julia is certain that they must help each other no matter what, and that way they can resist the mysterious captors and escape the trap. The young people spend the whole day pondering what's happening. By evening, Alice starts whistling a tune, annoying all her neighbors, and Jake finally asks her to be quiet. Meanwhile, Alex continues to study the diary, hoping to unravel the mystery of their abduction. At night, a person in a black cloak approaches Jake's box and opens the door using a keypad lock. The sound of button presses wakes Jake, and he looks fearfully at the captor, whose face is also covered by a black mask. The captor brings Jake a tray of food and is about to leave when Jake suddenly jumps up and rushes away. The other abducted people also wake up and notice that Jake managed to escape. They are now worried about his fate. Jake runs through the dense forest, and the people in black cloaks chase him. He trips over a branch and injures his leg but continues on. However, he soon gets surrounded by the captors. Jake demands to know who they are and what they want, but the people in black remain silent, pointing to the sky, and then something strange happens. The young people, frightened by the inexplicable flash, are convinced that Jake didn't survive. Alex believes that nothing would have happened to him if he hadn't decided to escape alone. Pessimism and despair grip the group. They no longer hold hope for rescue and prepare for the worst. However, Alex urges them not to give in to panic and to stay calm. In the morning, Alex looks out the window and tries hard to figure out a way to escape. He feels like he's missing something crucial. Suddenly, noticing the tray, he realizes that the wall he's leaning against is actually a door. Alex attempts to feel for something on the outside of the door and soon discovers a keypad lock, but he can't see it properly and intends to use his phone's camera, but the battery is dead. So Alex tries to wake Julia to use her phone. She's in a deep sleep, and Alex has to toss an apple into her box to finally wake her up. Julia throws her phone out the window, and Alex pulls it closer using the same method he used for the diary, hooking it with his jacket strings. With Julia's phone in hand, Alex records the button layout on video. Julia doesn't immediately understand what Alex is doing, but he explains that all the boxes have keypad locks, and he needs to figure out the code to open them. Suddenly, Julia gives Alex a brilliant idea, reminding him of the letters on each of the boxes. Alex returns to the diary and decides to tear out pages with information about the abductees to try looking at the information differently. Finally, he realizes that the numbers and letters on each box are not random.
That's gotta be the code.
Alex arranges the numbers in order, scratching them on the wall, and then labels them with the corresponding letters, forming the code, New Era. Carefully pressing the necessary buttons, Alex enters the code, and the lock successfully disengages. He pushes the door, and it falls to the ground. Stunned, Alex can't believe his luck and stands still, realizing the long-awaited freedom. Regaining his composure, Alex rushes to Julia's box and frees her. Now the two of them run towards the other boxes, aiming to rescue the remaining captives as quickly as possible. The liberated group of people is bewildered, asking Alex how he managed to open the doors. He promises to explain later. Right now, they need to escape. They flee into the forest, hoping to eventually reach a road. Soon, one of the captors grabs Julia, but Alex manages to free her from his grip, and they continue running. However, after a while, luck runs out for Julia again. She trips and seriously injures her leg. Yet, Alex doesn't leave her behind and asks James for his bandana to bandage the wound. Alex and Julia attempt to continue at a slower pace, while James, Brianna, and Alice run ahead, promising to send help for them. But suddenly, Alex and Julia are surrounded by the people in black cloaks. They capture them and return them to the clearing with the boxes. Soon, they bring the other captives, who didn't manage to escape. Alex tries to inquire from the captors about their motives, but they remain silent and repeat their mysterious ritual, pointing to the sky. Looking up, the group sees a gigantic spaceship directly above them. Then, they leave the planet just as a massive asteroid approaches it. Suddenly, the scene shifts to the coastline, where the people have been mysteriously transported. Julia wakes Alex up and informs him that the spaceship is already leaving. Alex, bewildered, notices that the wound on Julia's leg has disappeared, and she joyfully reveals that they healed her. Alex, like everyone else, doesn't understand what's going on. Soon, they notice Jake, unharmed and whole. He claims that the enigmatic people in black explained everything to him. As an asteroid approached Mars, their home planet, the beings in black found a new home for them on Earth to revive life and start anew. Alex doesn't comprehend the significance of it all and wants to know where they are.
You said it was called Earth.
Finally, the guys realize they're the chosen ones and will begin something new and amazing. So, on Earth, the first year begins, while on Mars, it's 3044. And after the asteroid impact, it's unfit for life. It was the movie Created. The ending surprised me for sure. An interesting theory that the first Earthlings were Martians who looked like us now, in the 21st century. And what do you think? Why did the aliens pick these guys for salvation? Will they relocate some of us to another planet when Earth is toast? Let's chat about these questions in the comments.